A little black girl helps a millionaire fix his car in the middle of nowhere, but when he sees the ring on her tiny finger, everything stops, his eyes fill with tears. What happens next will make you believe in miracles. So before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell, because this story will touch your heart. It was one of those burning summer afternoons in rural Georgia. The sun glared down on the highway, where luxury cars almost never passed, except for the bright red 1967 Mustang that had just rolled to a steaming stop by the roadside. Inside sat David Miles, a 42-year-old millionaire investor from Atlanta, sharp suit, gold watch, the works. His phone had no signal, his water bottle was empty, and his prized Mustang, the same car he'd rebuilt in memory of his late wife, had just given up on him. He slammed the steering wheel in frustration. "Great," he muttered. "Just great." A few minutes passed before he noticed a small figure in the distance, a little black girl, no older than 9, walking barefoot down the side of the road, holding a small backpack and a wrench nearly too big for her hand. She stopped near him, tilted her head, and asked in a soft but confident voice, "Mister, need some help?" David blinked. I don't think you can fix this, sweetheart. It's a classic engine, pretty complicated." The girl smiled, wiping sweat off her forehead. "My name's Lila, and I help my grandpa fix engines at our shop. You'd be surprised what I can do." Something about her confidence made David chuckle. "All right, Lila, knock yourself out." Lila walked to the front of the Mustang, popped the hood open like she'd done it 1,000 times, and squinted at the engine. After a minute of tinkering and tapping with the wrench, she said, "Your radiator hose is loose. And your coolant's low. It's overheating." David blinked in surprise. She was right. He'd owned that car for 10 years, and somehow, this little girl diagnosed it faster than any mechanic ever had. She rummaged through her backpack, pulled out a small roll of tape and a water bottle. "This'll help you get to town," she said as she patched up the hose with delicate care. "But don't drive too far. You'll need a real fix soon." David leaned against the car, watching in awe. Her hands moved with skill, her face calm and focused. When she finished, she stood back proudly, grinning. "You're something else, kid," David said, handing her a $100 bill. But to his surprise, Lila stepped back. "No, sir. I don't take money from people stuck in trouble. My grandpa says helping others is what makes us rich in here." She tapped her chest. David smiled. "Your grandpa sounds like a wise man." Lila nodded. "He is. He taught me everything." Then, as she reached for her backpack, something caught David's eye, a small silver ring on her finger. It wasn't shiny or expensive, just a simple band, clearly too large for her small hand. But it had an engraving, faint but visible, "To my angel, Daddy loves you forever." David froze. His breath caught in his chest. His voice trembled. "Lila, where did you get that ring?" She looked down at it, fidgeting. "It was my daddy's. He gave it to me before he went to heaven." David swallowed hard, his throat tightening. "What was his name?" Lila hesitated, then whispered, Eli Miles." David's world stopped. His heart dropped into silence. He took a step back, his face pale. "Eli Miles was my brother." Lila's eyes widened. "Your brother?" David nodded, tears filling his eyes. "He left home when he was young. Said he wanted to build a new life. We lost touch. I searched for years, and then I heard about a car accident. I thought," his voice broke. "I thought I'd lost everyone." Lila's lips quivered. "Mama said Daddy had a brother who was rich but didn't want anything to do with us." David's tears spilled down his cheeks. "That's not true, baby. I never knew you existed." The two of them stood in silence, the hot wind swirling around them, the world suddenly smaller and larger at once. Lila looked up, eyes shining. "So, you're my uncle." David knelt down, his voice shaking. Yes, sweetheart, I'm your uncle." She hesitated for a second, then threw her little arms around his neck. "I finally have family," she whispered. David hugged her tightly, as if afraid to let go. The ring on her finger pressed against his chest, a reminder of the brother he'd lost and the family he'd just found. Over the next few days, David followed Lila to her small town, a quiet, dusty place with broken streets and broken dreams. He met her grandmother, a frail woman who'd been raising Lila since her parents passed away. Their home was tiny, the roof leaking, walls cracked, but filled with love. David stayed for dinner that night. They ate cornbread and beans by candlelight. Lila's laughter filled the room. As he watched her, David realized something. All the money, cars, and business meetings in the world couldn't fill the hole he'd been carrying in his heart since his brother died. The next morning, he made a decision. He walked out to the porch, where Lila was polishing his Mustang, humming to herself. "You know," he said, "this car might look nice in your driveway." Lila's eyes widened. "What? You mean?" David smiled. "It's yours. For you and Grandma. I'll fix it up, make sure it runs forever, just like your daddy would have wanted." Lila gasped, tears glimmering. "But Uncle David, that's your favorite car." He knelt beside her. "It was. But now I think it's time it belongs to the person who reminded me what family means." Lila threw her arms around him again, crying, "Thank you, Uncle David." Months passed, and David became part of their lives. He rebuilt their home, enrolled Lila in a good school, and started teaching her about engineering and cars. She grew into a bright, strong young girl who could fix anything, not just engines, but hearts too. Years later, when she graduated college with a degree in automotive design, David stood proudly beside her. On her finger still shone that small silver ring, the one her father gave her, and beside it, a new one engraved by David himself: "Family never fades." And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because sometimes, the smallest acts of kindness can unlock the biggest miracles. And you never know, the person you helped today might just be family you didn't know you had.